coming from the Department of Public Enterprises, as well as those that are coming from Transnet Group, the officials of Parliament. I take this opportunity to welcome all of you in today's meeting. Today is the 15th of June, 2022, and this is the eve of the June 16 Youth Holiday, celebrating the struggles that were waged by our youth in line with the emancipation of our country. I therefore want to take this opportunity to wish you a happy Youth Day, because I'm sure all of us tomorrow will be focused on that. The meeting is now duly opened, and today we consider mainly two items: the presentation that we are to receive from Transnet Group, as well as the consideration of the minutes of the previous meeting. Having said that, I have received the apologies from the Minister and the Deputy Minister. Today, the National Assembly has a three lineup, and therefore they are unable to join us in this meeting. We have received their apologies. I have not myself had an opportunity to meet with the Minister, and my office is busy trying to schedule a meeting so that we can have an audience to also raise some of the concerns which were raised by the honorable members. I'm processing that, and in the near future, I will be meeting with the Minister. I can guarantee that, so that I can highlight those matters. Members, the meeting is open, and I want to take this opportunity at this point to ask the officials of the committee to indicate the apologies that we might have received from other members just before this meeting began, or written messages that we received a few days ago. Amanda?
Thank you, Chair. I have received three apologies: an apology of Honorable Abuskachni and Honorable Smith, as well as Honorable DeBrain. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Those are the three apologies that we have. Are there any further? Yeah,
Honorable Chairperson?
Yes, Honorable Modise.
Yes, let me put an apology for Honorable Mamrobela. She is out of the country attending youth conference in Europe.
Okay. I assume then, Honorable Modise, that there is no internet in Europe, so she is unable to connect virtually. Or maybe she's in a session. Thank you. I think that
she's in a session as we speak.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Modise. That apology is noted. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yebo, Honorable Mugause.
Chairperson, I just want to point out something here before you take the point of apologies. Chairperson, it looks like it's a norm within the portfolio that you are holding, chairing this committee. And it's a norm in this committee, select committee, that the minister can just send an apology. There's no deputy minister who can stand in, and all is well. And we are made to accept these things. I don't know who said it's casting stone that if the minister is not there for a period of time, we as members can just accept and allow the department to continue with the business, whilst the political head does not show any interest in the work of his own portfolio. Chairperson is wrong. And it's not for the first time that we are speaking about this. Secondly, Chairperson, it's extremely wrong for you to seek audience on our behalf as the select committee with the minister, requesting him to honor the appointment of the select committee. We need to hold him accountable, and it's our constitutional right to do so. He undermined us from the beginning of this term, and he's still doing that. So it's wrong. He needs to know that he accounts to this select committee, not to the chairperson of the select committee. So I object to your proposal that you are going to seek audience from the minister, for the minister to come, and it's not for you to beg him. He's compelled by the Constitution to come and account to us. It is not up to you, Chairperson. Honestly, we need to look into this. And I'm honestly putting it on the table to say, why do you have to accept the department to come alone without the minister?
Recording in progress.
Why? I'm going to propose that we seek political representation for this from this department before this meeting starts, Chairperson. That will be my submission for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mukause, for that intervention. No, I note what you are saying, but as you recall, I'm not sure if you were present in the meeting where this matter was raised. And then I was given a full mandate to ensure that in future, the ministers, together with the deputy minister, they must come to this committee because there has been a trend, as you are pointing out. So it was in that context that I started a process as part of the handover of me as the new chairperson in this committee to engage with the department. So it is in that context. It's not like my own making that I decided on that. But I agree with the points that you are making, because they were seriously raised from the very onset when I came through to this committee, that there's been a trend that the minister and the deputy are never here. And therefore we are pursuing the matter. We are not begging, we are correct that they are accountable here. We exercise oversight over their offices and their departments. So you are very much correct, but I don't want us to belabor the point, because I am processing it, as I say, as part of the handover, and I'm going to ensure that we do that. Obviously, there has to be someone who actions the decisions that are taken by this committee. It is not something that we can all do all at once. So part of the processing of our decision is that I take the responsibility in ensuring that they get implemented to a point wherein what we expect to happen does happen. So I note that expression, Honorable Member.
Chairperson.
Arnold, you want to say something? I see
Yes,
you're already standing on the podium.
Come again, Chairperson.
Yeah, I see that you are already standing on the podium before I even recognize you.
Yeah, good morning, Chairperson. And good morning also to the honorable members and then the officials that is present. No, Chairperson, I think we must take a stand here. And Commissioner Makausi, who is also an honorable member here and part of the committee, is right. We can't continue like this. And we must not continue with this meeting without the political principles here. It's unacceptable. So I second the proposal that we must get the principals here. The deputy or the minister must come here with the department and account also. We can't continue like this, Chairperson. This is now your second meeting. or third meeting, and they are not here.
Okay.
And no, we must keep them, Chairperson.
All right. No, I hear that you are seconding the motion. Members, there is a motion which is put forward. A different view.
The officials from the department. Honorable Chair, I agree. I know the point that the honorable members has raised, but today, because of like you said, it's a 3-line whip.
We have consulted. We took the protocol to the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development. We also took it to the Department of International Relations and Cooperation. We also took it to the Presidency, and they all confirmed that it is aligned to our Constitution. And in terms of stakeholders that we consulted, we went to the ESAT cluster. We've also presented to the ICTS cluster, and they have approved, they have endorsed our request, and I think that's the reason why we are here. We've also presented to the portfolio committee, whom we have also received the approval, the endorsement from. If we can go to the next slide, please. So why we are appearing before the Select Committee today, we are recommending that the Select Committee should consider the amendment to the 2 articles, Article 50A and Article 56, and support the referral of these 2 protocols to the NCOP for consideration and approval. I thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Madam Chair, for taking the committee through the presentation on the protocol from the COA. Honourable members, any clarification questions that honourable members would want to raise with regard to the presentation or engagement or discussion? I've noted Honourable High. The floor is yours, Honourable High.
Thank you very much, Honourable Chair, and good morning to all honourable members, officials from the department, led by Mr. Shavisa, and also parliamentary staff and committee staff. Chair, I just want to find out when that the protocol was adopted in 2016, why are we only receiving it now in 2022? Because also if you read the document, it says urgent. Also the concern is that so far only 70 states have ratified. That means we could be 71. We don't know how much longer the other 57 will ratify the protocol. But also with regard to African representation, how do we know that automatically those the increase will accommodate? Because currently you say there are 5 represent those that are representing African countries. Is it automatic, therefore, that when you expand or you increase membership, the increase will automatically go to Africa? So, yeah, those are perhaps the 2, 3 questions I wanted clarity on. Otherwise, I don't think we have a problem ratifying the 2 articles as a committee, but do we just need clarity around the issues that I've raised. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Dango.
Yes, Comrade Chair. Sorry, the Chairperson. I have been covered largely by Member Khai. There's just one further question. Are the blocks represented in Africa equally, or is it the 5 just drawn from Africa, or is there West African representative, a Maghreb representative, a East African, an ECOWAS, and a SADC representative? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Dango. Honorable Tim Protester.
Thank you, Chairperson. Having read through the documents and consulted with colleagues in the Portfolio Committee, I can advise the DA are happy to support. Thank you.
Chair, I can't hear.
Chair, can you move closer to the mic, Honorable?
I can, Chairperson. Excuse my jacket. It's very, very cold here. Chairperson, just to let you know that having gone through the documents carefully and having consulted with our colleagues in the Portfolio Committee who did ratify this, the DA are happy to support. I have the support of Honourable Boshoff and Honourable Lont in this as well. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Professor. Honourable members, it looks like that those were the only engagement. Maybe from my side, you said we are moving. If the ratification of the protocol materializes, the probabilities of us moving from part 2 to part 1 will be created. What is the difference between the 2? Thank you. Over to you, Honourable Chair. Honourable members, are we still together?
Yes, Chairperson, you referred to Honourable Chair, so I think they were confused.
Yeah, maybe that's what confused the department. He said Honourable Chair.
Mrs. Chair. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair. The first question, around the protocols being adopted in 2016, and the question was why now? So when we went to the AKO Assembly in 2016, unfortunately, the head of delegation then was the Deputy Minister. We did not go with our minister when we went for that assembly. So our minister could therefore not ratify the convention at the assembly, during the assembly. So we had to come back home with the document and start with the ratification process. We then went through the process of getting presidential, even before the presidential minutes, we then went through the process of going to the Department of Justice to get legal opinion. Then after that, we then had to go to the Department of DECO to get legal opinion. We then had to do the process of getting presidential minutes, and that took a bit of time, and basically that's the reason why. And in addition to that, we then had to go through the two cabinet clusters that I've indicated. So that also took a bit of time. That's the reason why we are only able to come to the Select Committee now. And the second question, in terms of whether we have any guarantees that we will get the additional seats that we are that we are trying to increase with this protocol. There is no guarantee. But what we then do, because for a member state to be part of the AKO Council, you become a member of the AKO Council through votes. And we have African states, we have about 54 African states. So our view is that if we all support each other through the African Civil Aviation Commission, and we then vote for African states, for the African states when we get to the AKO Assembly, once the protocols have been adopted, we stand a better chance of getting those seats, because then it means that African states will vote for each other. We also have partners in other regions who will then also support us for us to get the seat. And in terms of, are there any blocks? So I'll respond to, are there any blocks represented, as well as what is the difference between the three parts? I'll then address the two questions now in my response. So the council, the AKO Council has three parts. Part one, it states of chief importance in air transport. And part two, it states that have the facilities for international civil air navigation. And that's where we are because of the civil air navigation facilities that we have as the country. And part three talks to geographic representation. And on geographic representation, that's where all the regions are represented. So there is representation under part three of all the regions. And we are, as South Africa, we are of the view that we have exceeded our contribution in terms of civil aviation. We feel that we should no longer be considered under part two just based on the air navigation facilities that we have, because we have made quite a number of contribution in air transport. So we regard ourselves as a state that has a chief importance on air transport related matters. And that's basically the reason why we are of the strong view that we want to move from part two to part one. I hope I've answered all the questions. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair, for that. Any addition, Advocate or Dr. Shabiza?
Not from my side. I was checking my colleague. Sorry, I got my camera back now. I was just checking my colleague, Zakele Twala, who's a DDG responsible for the aviation sector in the department, whether he has got some other additional information which maybe Mshe has maybe left out, which he needed just to augment. I just wanted to see whether he has got something to add there. Otherwise, I see the hand, Chairperson of Honorable High. Also, I'm not sure whether the legacy hand or not. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, I suspect this is a follow-up, Honorable High.
Yes, it's a follow-up, Chair. Just a concern that it takes 6 years to process the ratification by South Africa, whether this is a norm with all the protocols. It takes this much time because it's a whole term, of Parliament to process and adopt. So just wanted to check if it's a norm. But also another concern is that it has taken also 6 years to get 70 countries to ratify. I'm not sure how much more it will take the 58 countries to ratify, so that, and also I don't know how often the assembly meet, because it could happen that you might have had the other assemblies that have met without these amendments having been endorsed or ratified by their countries. So those are just comments of consent. Thanks.
Thank you, Chair. Back to the team.
Thank you, Chair. I'm trying to fix my camera. My name is Akele Twala. I'm the DDG of Civil Aviation at the Department of Transport. Largely, I think Ms. Chair has covered all questions. This will be the next council meeting. So that's why, among other things, we hope that during the council in this year, we'll have more countries rectifying, because in the interest of the member states that they will rectify this. Unfortunately, we can't control other countries, but we do hope when their ministers are in Montreal, we'll get more countries. We'll have more than 70 countries having rectified. In terms of the question that we asked, I think Elizabeth has covered all of them. But one thing is that we have 5 from the regions, 3 from Part 2, and would be campaigning, if this passes on, would campaigning to get into Part 1 because of our infrastructure and activities within. So as much as we say it's not guaranteed, but in terms of our contribution and resources that we have in the country, we will become the obvious choice to move up from Part 2 to Part 1. We take note of the comments made by Mr. Honorable Khai that it took a bit long. Yes, it did. We could have done this a while ago, but this is where we are now. This is an attempt to answer the rest of the questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Zakele, for the response. I think we are happy now with the team presentation and also engagement with the questions that were raised by honorable members. What we could probably then do, let's get guidance from the committee secretary.
Thank you, Chairperson. Maybe let me request my colleague Shamara if she's got anything to say when we're about to adopt the report.
Okay. Shamara?
Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you, Rebecca. Chairperson, I'm quite satisfied with the presentation that was given. Just in terms of voting, we would do so on provincial lines, in that the support of 5 provinces will carry the report forward. Thank you.
Okay, good. Thank you. Let me just check. Is it not? I suspect we'll have to include the the rationale and the benefits. There's two slides that speaks about the rationale for the proposed amendments on the protocols and also the benefits. Those two slides. But already, I think with those additions, I guess we can then probably move in terms of inviting members to express their views in terms of provincial representation by using the raise your hand option. Those that agree that the committee recommend to the House for the adoption of the proposed amendment is Honorable Khaya from Eastern Cape, Honorable Dango from Gauteng, Honorable Mashode from Free State, Honorable Tim Seth from KZN, and also then myself. I think we have Honorable Boshoff, Honorable Blond.
I'm happy we follow the lead of Honorable Seth on this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Honourable Chair, Honourable Boshoff unfortunately has got to go to the dentist, so she is supporting, but she can't vote right now.
Thank you.
But I think you have sufficient support.
Thank you. Remember, therefore, the report is hereby adopted. Let me take this opportunity to express our gratitude to the honourable members for adopting the protocol amendment to COW. Therefore, the report is truly adopted to be recommended to the House for adoption. Can we then move to, I guess there is no any other contrary view. In the absence of none, can we then move to the next item on the agenda, the report on the regulation 116A? Enrico?
Chairperson?
Yes,
maybe one Enrico is flighting the report. I will request our legal advisor just to say some few words before we adopt the report. And also then the department must also understand that there's no need of presentation now because the committee has already dealt with this issue. Today is just the method of adopting the report. This report could have been adopted last month, but due to the quorum, we couldn't adopt the report. Thank you, Chair.
Yes, I think you are correct. We have in the past got an opportunity for the department to present the item marked the draft regulation 116A in terms of section 75(6) of the National Roads Traffic Act. What we also did, we then invited also the input from our legal advisor, and they also assisted us in terms of giving guidance. Can we then probably then just ascertain from Shamaras whether is there any point that should want to raise prior to the committee secretary taking us through the report?
Thank you, Chairperson. I'm covered.
Thank you. Can you just take us through the report, committee secretary?
Chairperson, before, may I also request Ms. Pumelele Ngema, the legal advisor also?
Okay. Ms. Ngema?
Greetings, Chairperson, and greetings to all the members and everyone on the platform. I was still sipping my concoction, Chairperson, but it's only one that I must point out. It's just the word in paragraph 1, Chairperson, there are net is supposed to be thereafter. It's just that otherwise everything else is up to standard, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you. Did you pick up that Committee Secretary is the last two sentences, the sentence before the last one on paragraph 1.
Yeah, Chairperson, yes. This was taken from the Act. So when we discussed with the legal advisor, then we have agreed that then at least we should replace with thereafter. But in the Act, it is written like this.
Okay, all right. Can we then just take the members through the report?
Thank you, Chairperson. Enrico, can you, the heading? Let's start with the heading first. Chairperson, let me present to the committee the report of the Select Committee on Transport and Public Service and Administration, Public Works and Infrastructure on the draft regulation 11.6a in terms of section 75, subsection 6 of the National Road Traffic Act of 1996, dated 15 June. The report reads as follows, Chairperson. The Select Committee, which is this committee, having considered the subject of the draft regulation 11.6a in terms of section 75.6, subsection 6 of the National Road Traffic Act of 1996, Act number 93 of 1996 referred to it, reports that it has not agreed to the draft report. Part A is the process. I won't go through the process, Chairperson, as it is, but then we can say number 1 and number 2, where we had our first meeting in 22 April. And then number 3, the department briefed the committee on the 10th of November 2022, and that is what transpired in the briefing.
Is it 2022 or 2021?
Thank you. No, yes, 2021. It's a mistake there. We will take 2020. It's November 2021. Thank you, Chair.
Yes.
Yes, but the rest of the dates are correct. On 23 April 2022, the committee received and deliberated on the legal opinion from the Parliament Constitutional and Legal Services. The committee welcomed the legal opinion and resolved that the Department of Transport withdraw the draft regulation and allow parliamentary processes to amend the National Road Traffic Act of 1996, Act number 93 of 1996 to be completed. Thank you, Chairperson. Number 6, I won't go. Then the committee, then after that, then did not agree to the draft regulation 11.6, which was referred to it. But B, recommendation, Chairperson, the Select Committee on Transport and Public Service and Administration, Public Works and Infrastructure recommends that the Council adopt this report on the draft regulation 11.6a. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Committee Secretary, for presenting the report of the committee on the regulation. Any reflection by honourable members on the report as tabled by the Committee Secretary? Does it? I've noted Honourable Bradford.
Thank you, Chairperson. Yeah, I think the report ably reflects what our deliberations were. I think it's the correct position that we refer it back, and I'm glad to see now that it is currently, the concept is being served before the Portfolio Committee, because you will note that this never went to the Portfolio Committee, it came straight to us. So it's good that both sets of eyes are now looking at it. And I think it also just happens in the context of the recent warnings yesterday that the ATDF, which is the All Truck Drivers Forum, we're planning on closing down major routes around the country. Now, Chair, I think I just want to state on the record that such acts are purely criminal acts. No truck drivers forum, whatever their grievances, has the right to close down arterial routes, close down access to towns, simply because they're not happy with the fact that we have signed international treaties that allows legitimately qualified foreign drivers to drive in our country. We're not talking about illegal or undocumented foreign nationals. We're talking about legitimate, documented foreign nationals driving in our country. We're a part of an international global family, a part of an African family. And we cannot simply ride roughshod over international treaties. And as Advocate Jenkins said, we cannot act unconstitutionally. So just want to put that on record that I'm very glad that this committee has taken a firm stance on this. And the DA is happy to support this report. And I speak on behalf of Honourable Boshoff and Honourable Lunt as well in this regard. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honourable Brother Seth. Honourable Khai.
Thank you very much, Honourable Chair. Exactly those issues that you've raised with regard to date and the one that was raised by the legal advisor of Parliament. Otherwise, we are happy with the report, ready to vote to endorse it. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Khai. Honourable members, then having past the stage of engagement with the report, we will now invite honourable members to vote on the report through their raise hand option. Those that agree, noted Honourable Tim, Honourable Moshodi, Honourable Khai, Honourable Dambo, Honourable Boshoff, and Honourable Lunt, as indicated by Tim. They agree, and also myself.
We support and Honourable Brother Seth have stated our position.
Thank you, Honourable Lunt, for indeed affirming that the position as put forth by Honourable Brother Seth indeed is a true reflection on the caucus. We're mindful of what Honourable Boshoff is going through because of the technical network. Is there any member that is against the adoption of the report? Any abstention? Therefore, the report is duly adopted. Thank you, honourable members, for adopting the report and enabling the committee to present the report on the regulation to the House for adoption. We will then move to the next item. I'm mindful of the Department of Transport's delegation, Mr. Tlhabisa and the team. You are at liberty to exit the meeting. I believe that the items that you came for are duly canvassed and thereby exhausted. Any last word, Honourable Tlhabisa?
Thank you very much, Honourable Chair and Honourable members. I think on behalf of the department and my team here, we really appreciate the support of the committee on both pieces of work that we have submitted to the committee for ratification and for approval. We really appreciate that, and we thank you very much, Chairperson and your team. Thank you very much, and honourable members. Thank you very much, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Tlhabisa and the team. Honourable members will then deal with the minutes of the last meeting. I think it was the 8th of June. where as the department, we hosted the Department of, as a committee hosted the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure on the progress to transfer 14,000 hectares of state land to the Housing Development Agency. The next aspect of the minutes deal with the attendees. Those are the members that attended the meeting. The apologies and also the guests in attendance. We were blessed by the presence of the Deputy Minister too. And then those are the opening remarks and then the apologies. And then the opening remarks by the DM, followed by presentation by Ms. Sasa Suban. And then that's how the presentation was captured. And then the comments and deliberation by members were raised. Just on 4.3, Committee Secretary, I guess we agree that
Chairperson,
4.3.
I think this let me share the correct minutes. It was a mistake. I sent it and Enrico the one that are not correct. My apology.
All right.
Yeah, my apology, Chair. Let me quickly do.
Are you managing?
Yeah, no, it's okay, Chair.
Yes.
I know you wanted to address this one.
Yes.
Yes.
I thought the GM said because they rely on other entities, what we could probably do by the beginning of the third term. I don't know how we can capture that. Because with 7 days, the DM said it will not be possible.
No, it's fine. Then it will be matters arising. Then we'll put it in the matters arising on the time frame.
On the time frame, yes.
Yes.
Okay. Other members, any other corrections that you would want to raise? Or reflection? In the absence of any correction, addition, subtraction, can we then get a move for the adoption of the minutes of the 8th of June? That's a true reflection.
I so move, Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Dango, for moving. Can we get a seconder?
Honorable Mushodi, Chair, I second the minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Mushodi. The minutes are therefore duly adopted. Is there any counter to the adoption? I guess there is none. Therefore, the minutes are duly adopted as a true reflection of what transpired in the last minutes of the 8th of June by the Select Committee. Honorable members, the adoption therefore duly brings us to the end of today's meeting. Allow me to take this opportunity to indeed express a word of gratitude for the availability and also the fact that at all times the committee is able to execute its responsibilities because of your discipline, because of your commitment. Therefore, the meetings stand adjourned. and also our guest, the PMG, the media, the committee secretary and the research team, and also the guests from the department. The meetings are virtually closed. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson.
Let's meet this afternoon.
Recording stopped.
Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson.